So the people out there in webinar land, we're excited to be able to present on the concept of next generation meetings today. We've got a pretty good lineup of information to pass along, some exciting new products that have recently come to market, and we're going to talk through all of that here in a few minutes. We're going to wait maybe another 30, 45 seconds before we kick it off. So. That's a decent group. Shall we get started? And recording?
Yes, recording. And just a reminder, all attendees are muted upon entry. So if you have a question, please make sure you're set in the Q&A. Thank you.
Wonderful, that reminder. So welcome, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, a couple days after Valentine's Day. Hopefully everyone's off the romance wagon and back to the grind. My name's Corey Rayfield. I'm a practice director for Logicalis US with focus on our Cisco solutions. Today we've got, like I said, a pretty special presentation webinar around what the industry's kind of termed next generation meetings. There's always been confusion and inefficiencies in the meeting process, trying to use collaboration tools. Everyone has best intentions, but you've all seen running jokes before where you walk into a conference room and there's, misaligned web conferencing bridges up, overhead projectors, monitors that you can't turn on to get your presentation displayed properly. We're missing remotes or missing dongles. It's really a wonder we can get anything done with the way we're distributed with today's distributed workforce and bringing them together in a collaborative way. But Logicalis, and especially Cisco, has been working really hard to kind of help stop this madness. Last month's big Sparkboard announcement, I think, was very impressive. Wasn't real sold on it in concept, but once I saw it and how well it was integrated to the rest of the meeting experience, I was really blown away. It's certainly going to help take the meeting experience here to the next level. So with me today, we have Mark Nash, who I saw present at the launch in San Francisco of the Sparkboard. He's a head of strategy and innovation for worldwide collaboration sales at Cisco. Mark is going to walk us through kind of how Cisco collaboration is continuing to revolutionize the meeting experience, and then we'll take Q&A and then a wrap up to full. So I'll turn it over to you, Mark. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Corey. Appreciate the opportunity to present to you all around next generation meetings. And I'm sure you've all recognized how meetings is actually become a bit of an imperative. It's one of those things that as we go out and spend time on these statistics, some of them still surprise us, right? On average, it's 37 to 40% of the time people are spending in meetings. And then this idea that while I'm in that meeting, it generally takes on average about 10 minutes of that meeting time, which probably was only scheduled for 45 minutes or an hour to start, 10 minutes just to get the thing up and running. And then the reality is the vast majority of us, more than 2/3 of us, are actually doing other things while we're in that meeting where we're supposed to be focused on getting work done. And what we're finding is clearly making meetings more effective is remaining a top priority for everyone that we're talking to, and that's the journey and focus that we've been on. You think about our meeting strategy, it's really centered around the idea of a combination of two key things. Industry-leading meeting solutions, whether that's the software or the software as a service offering that creates the meeting experience, partnered or paired with award-winning video devices. And as Corey mentioned, Sparkboard is the newest addition to that strategy. The thing that's changing is if you think about how work is evolving, why meetings are becoming such an imperative, it's just the reality that the work that most people are getting done, the highest value work that people are doing is innovating around new solutions or escalating around the most important problem at the moment. And to do that, it's all collaborative. And so people are creating these flexible, self-regulated, agile teams to get work done. And they don't care where people are. You know, it doesn't always have to be scheduled anymore. It can be ad hoc because I have an immediate need to bring together whatever resources might be available. And I'm bound within my company anymore. A lot of times I'm reaching out to partners. I'm reaching out to potentially my customers that I sell and service to, trying to just escalate or innovate the best way possible to stay ahead of the competition. And so the reality is most of the time, what users have to access to get that work done is a series of siloed solutions. You know, everybody has audio conferencing. They have their personal bridge that they have that they can host an audio conferencing. But to really escalate and innovate in a good way, I got to be able to work around some content. That's why web conferencing has really become so popular. You know, the idea of now a naked audio-only meeting is becoming more and more rare. But the reality is, because of the fact that I'm dealing with people and I'm trying to get decisions made, I got to look in the eye. And now we're getting to a point where video is becoming really a key to having that experience, that meeting experience, where I can get my best work done. So if you think about what most people go through, they have the decision that my work done, I got to have a meeting. And then what happens is they have to think about, well, how many people am I going to have in that meeting? Where is everybody going to join from? What device are they going to use? How in the world am I going to connect everyone together just to have my meeting? And that's the work that that users have to go through. They have to stop thinking about work and start thinking about technology to figure out the best way to put all this stuff together. So what we decided to do a year and a half ago was reinvent meetings. And the way in which we defined success was that we could eliminate every word before and after the word meeting. So it no longer be, is it an audio meeting or a web meeting, or is it a video meeting, or is it a meeting in a room? It's a meeting. No more ors. Anybody can join however they want, be able to be connected to the same meeting, and it was a simple decision for the person that wanted to host the meeting to be able to get everybody there and to allow you to do the best work possible. And so how we did that, the introduction of that, was when we introduced people's secure personal rooms. And really all they had to do was decide that they wanted to have a meeting, no longer think about all those things in between. They had an address that was theirs, that was always on, that was always available. All they had to do was give it out to people, completely integrated with your calendar, whether it was an Outlook calendar, Google calendar, or whatever, right, notes, etc. Basically, you give people out the invite, and then all that they had to join your meeting was a big green button. That big green button from whatever device that they're on, and they join your meeting. And really what takes that meeting to the next level is people that are joining the meeting are experiencing that meeting through smart connected pane of glass. And Cisco, over the last couple of years, has refreshed its entire portfolio of physical devices and applications on third-party devices to create truly an extraordinary, amazing experience for any device. What device is a device in your pocket, and we have great partnerships with Apple and Samsung and others. You haven't heard about that, really doing some extraordinary things on those devices that make it so that real-time conversations on those devices can be truly extraordinary. Clearly, we have devices for every desktop and devices for every room, and not exclusive. Right? If you have third-party devices that are SIP or H323 standards capable, or even Link or Skype for Business, they can all participate too. Everybody's invited. And you think about the experience, right? Whether you're on a mobile device, you have that device in your pocket, you have the big green button. Whether you're, at your desktop through a browser, the big green button, or whether you're in a room, literally you can walk into that room and there's a big green button on that device that all you have to do is walk up and push, and everybody can join the meeting from where they are. And the other thing that we've done that's important to call out is that we've heard loud and clear There are times when, as a user, you don't want to have to go through the whole, well, I have the device, and I need to connect it to the network and register it to something and do all this work before that device is ready. We eliminated those barriers for our customers that are interested to just connect the device to the cloud, so that device literally has the ability to register and work from the cloud without any premise-based infrastructure, if so desired. Of course, the Apple partnership that we have extends that even further by doing some extraordinary things around security and wireless and other things to truly make that experience the best that it can be. Now, Cisco, as I mentioned, refreshed its entire endpoint portfolio, and we really do have a device, an experience for every room. You know, whether that be your personal desk, whether that be a huddle room, whether that be a larger room, all the way up to an executive boardroom. There are solutions for every use case. And these devices, you know, have won a whole series of awards. And believe it or not, there's even some pre-done kits if you want, you know, an entire workspace configured a very, very specific way. But what we keep hearing is, I want to have that unparalleled end-user experience from wherever I am. And really how we define that and differentiate on that is around the idea that every user that needs to host a meeting gets a personal room. Their own personal space that's theirs with an address that never changes and something that's always on, always available to them, and they're in complete control of it from whatever device they need to be. They give out that address through either the calendar or through a chat or a message, however they want to distribute that meeting ID, then anybody that needs to join has the ability to push a big green button to join that meeting. If you're in that device, if you're in a room that has a physical device, you push the big green button, you're immediately in the room. You're immediately in the meeting. If you're remote, it actually asks you, where do you want me to call you back? I can call you back through your laptop, through your mobile. I can call you back through, you know, your PC and actually do it all over VoIP. Or I have the ability now to even call you back on a video endpoint using a SIP address. If in the room, I have in-room controls right on that device. I have the ability to do things like blinds or changing the screens or adjusting the lighting or the climate or those types of things. Whether I'm local or remote, I can actually inject content into the meeting like I am now, or receive the content, consume the content that's being projected, all without a cable, completely wireless through a technology we have called proximity. In addition to that, we also have, for those users that are remote, technology that is unparalleled in the endpoints, speaker track and presenter track. That's so intelligent that makes me, who often presents remotely, feel like it's better than being there. I feel like I absolutely have a seat at the table. The other thing to call out, though, is one of the things we've been working on for the last couple of years is the idea of giving the meeting persistence. We know that there's a ton of work that happens before the meeting. Statistic that, good or bad, there's a lot of work that happens during the meeting. And of course, a lot of the action items and a lot of that work happens after the meeting. And most meeting solutions are just that, just for the meeting. And all of the work before, during, and after the meeting that happens, there's no place for it. There's no way to pull it in, and there's no way to create persistence around it. And that's one of the key reasons why we've extended the meeting experience with something called Spark, which really allows us to create a continuous collaboration, persistent meeting and interaction. One of the things we wanted to do, though, was extend that not just to software, but also extend it physically. And one of the things we recognized was that about 50% of meetings have all the people in the same meeting room. There's not a single virtual participant. A lot of times in those meetings, what people need to do is wirelessly share information or present information, as well as whiteboard around the ability to create content or annotate content, those types of things. Best of cases, this is what most people have have their meeting experience. And as Corey mentioned in the beginning, the reality is this is the best. What most people have is a whole bunch of parts and pieces around remotes and cords and cables and different devices that obviously most companies are taking highly paid IT people and turning them back into high school AV specialists to set up and coordinate those meetings and make them all come off, hopefully within that initial 10 minutes, right? But you look at a room like this, what do I have? I have a whiteboard, I have an easel, I have a projector, I have a speakerphone, I have a Crestron that controls the environmentals of the room, I have a video device. I found in the room and nicely placed on that table to the left there, I have some remotes. That's what most of the time, in the best of scenarios, the meeting experience is. Introduced at the Spark 2.0 Spark board launch at the end of January was a device you see hanging on the wall there, as well as the interface that that device is at that moment projecting. It is either a 55-inch or a 70-inch device that was on the wall that was designed for, first, the 95% of rooms that don't have the technology necessary to host a meeting. The device is, first, an extraordinary presentation device, completely wireless. From a mobile device, from your PC or Mac, from any browser, literally a wireless presentation device. In addition to that is a cloud-connected whiteboard. 4K, super high resolution, super high capability, where it actually is running the same technology that you happen to have on your smartphones, where literally it can sense all of the different fingers simultaneously if you have multiple people writing simultaneously. And the key with it being cloud connected is it is something that is completely dynamic, because it's always stored in the cloud and accessible from everywhere, not just as a picture, but literally you can co-create, co-annotate, collaborate together anywhere on via Spark with happening on this whiteboard or via multiple whiteboards simultaneously. And so the idea is the number one use case we're finding for this initially is a room where I just need to be able to present and whiteboard. Even though this device also is an extraordinary video conferencing endpoint. Now, not a video conferencing endpoint first. It is that whiteboarding, that content sharing, and a video conferencing device. It is the first full all-in-one meeting experience device that replaces everything else you saw on that last slide. Literally giving you, full 4K camera, fully integrated microphone and speaker array. It is an absolutely extraordinary endpoint that is priced very, very, very well, that you can put in any room. And clearly what we're targeting is those rooms that today have nothing, or all of those other devices you saw in the last slide. Really, one of the key things that I want to call out here, unlike some of our computer solutions, is we're really blending both the physical and the virtual experience. We know that there are meetings that are happening where everybody's in the same place. We also know those meetings need to be extended where everybody isn't in the same place, they're all in different places, or a mixture of the two. And a lot of times, because of the fact that those meetings are more and more ad hoc, I could be at home, I could be on the road, I could be in the office, as well as everybody else that's participating. And the experience has to be extraordinary for all of them, all of the participants, whether they're part of your company or not, whether they're on a software device or physical device, whether they're mobile, or house, or in a room that's purpose-built, right? And what we've done is we've extended that experience as part of the Spark board. We extended that experience into the Spark application, whether that Spark application be in any browser, whether it's on a Mac or Windows device, or whether it be on any smartphone. Obviously we've done some cool things, as I mentioned earlier, with Apple and Samsung devices if you're Android or iOS, but we're basically creating this experience. And the key is whether you're whiteboarding, whether you're wirelessly sharing, or whether you're in a meeting that is video first, The experience is identical across all of the interfaces, and of course, they happen to be on a third-party endpoint. Everybody's invited, everybody can participate. One of the things we needed to do, yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. And I noticed it a little bit too, and I don't know from the audience. You're breaking up a little bit.
Audio?
Yeah.
Okay. Just do a headset. Go ahead.
Okay. And do you want me just to do the questions at the end?
If you have a couple now, please ask them. I'd love the interruption.
Yeah, this isn't a question for Mark, though. The one in the Q&A right now is an internal question, and I'm working there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So one of the things that I wanted to call out as well is that part of this is, of course, enhancing the WebEx experience to make it so that it is the best experience possible for everything that we just talked about. And I want to call out a couple of enhancements, forgive the busyness of the slide, a couple of enhancements that we've made in the latest release of WebEx that complement the things that we've just talked about. First, around people's personal rooms. One of the things we found is people love their personal room, but one of the fears that they have to using it for every meeting is that, well, what if I can't be there, or what if I'm not in front of my video device or my laptop or whatever to start it? So what we've done is we've added the ability for an alternate host. You can assign alternate hosts to start your meeting on your behalf, like you can any other WebEx meeting. In addition, we've now included the ability for you to start that meeting from any device you want, including an audio-only phone. In addition, we've made it so that from join experience perspective, we made it so that the join experience can be completely browser-based if you want to. It's extraordinary. It takes a couple seconds to join. With Chrome, Explorer, Firefox, including made it simpler so that if you're on a video endpoint and you have no infrastructure and you want to IP dial into the meeting, that capability that's part of the latest release as well. The other thing that I want to call out is if
Mark,
you happen, yeah.
Sorry again. We're hearing you. It's still kind of breaking up. It's almost like you're underwater, sounding that way a little bit. And a lot of feedback that is the case.
Okay, now I just went to the computer integrated. Does this sound better?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the feedback. So the other thing that we've done that I think is real important is we know that a lot of you are moving to cloud-based calendaring, email type applications, whether that be Office 365 or the G Suite from Google. And we've made sure that from a productivity tools perspective, as far as starting a meeting, hosting a meeting, those types of things, those are now completely supported as well. Mobile perspective, we've redesigned the mobile interface, so now you can do split screening on an iPad. You can actually do content sharing from an iOS or Android device, so literally injecting content into the meeting from those devices. And what I think is great and been a long time coming is the idea that meeting recordings now can be streamed and watched on your mobile devices when you're on the road for those. In addition to that, the other thing that we're doing is we're significantly enhancing the client. So think about all of the all of the WebEx experience that maybe some of you have seen, know, love, that type of stuff. That WebEx experience is actually one of the options you will have available to you. That WebEx experience literally embedded in Spark as part of the Spark client experience that I showed you earlier on the other devices, where literally Spark will become the best way to start or join a meeting. And one of the keys with that, around that Spark interface, is the idea that it also includes persistent messaging, file sharing. It includes capabilities around calling. It also includes capabilities around being able to have direct messages, as well as spaces that you can use for teams or topics. And of course, those can be people both within your company as well as people outside of your company, and everyone is invited. And the key here, if you think back to the discussion around making the meeting more persistent, making that collaboration more continuous. The key here is now all of the work that I've done before the meeting, all of we're going to work on during the meeting, with stuff up on the whiteboard, things that are getting presented, presentations that are now being annotated, all of that is captured in Spark. And then when meeting is over, all of the work that gets done afterwards, all of action items and all those types of things, they live in Spark. The idea of being able to tie those worlds together so that that meeting has continuous presence, that is a key capability. In addition, all of the existing recurring meetings that you may have or meetings that you've had, there's actually even ability to take, hey, we're having a WebEx meeting, let this Spark space into that meeting, make it part of the meeting so that we can continue that conversation after the meeting is over. There's simple capability to tie those things together as well. The thing that I wanted to call out, two key things. First is we've really simplified the offers as far as how do I entitle my users to these capabilities. So really we have, if you're going to deploy this solution on-prem as part of your private cloud or potentially managed, there are premise-based, user-based, as well as meeting-based licenses. We also, of course, mimic that in the cloud, which is I could have a cloud-based user or a cloud-based meeting. And one of the things I'm going to spend a few minutes on is Spark Flex Plan, which brings those two things together. The other key thing we've heard loud and clear is certain customers that struggle with the I don't have to make a decision between premise or cloud. I want both. I want it all. And so spend a couple of moments talking about our hybrid solution as far as the deployment capabilities. So talk about Cisco Spark Flex Plan. Read the two key words there, flex and plan, are purposeful. Plan, think of like your mobile, your cell phone plan. This is a subscription. There is no upfront capital expense. This is truly a subscription-based solution, per user per month type of experience. And the flexible part is we've been able to separate the buying decision from the deployment decision. That you can actually acquire or entitle your users to Spark Flex Plan and then decide, how do I want to deploy my users? Do I want to deploy them in my private cloud? Do I want to deploy them in my partner cloud? Do I want to leverage hybrid? Do I want to leverage the Cisco cloud? That whole combination is all part of Cisco Spark Flex Plan. The other key thing is it also provides a way for you to consume and deploy the suite. Rather than buying messaging or meetings or calling in separate silos, there is now a common agreement that allows you to buy the entire suite as start from any point of departure to get to that entire suite, including the ability to have total deployment flexibility. Again, whether it's out of our cloud, whether it's out of your cloud, whether it's hosted, managed, or any combination of them, including the ability to do hybrid. The thing is, for those of you that are interested in something more of an enterprise agreement type of solution, we have that as part of this solution as well. And this is really centered around the idea that the Spark Flex Plan is part of a larger Cisco enterprise agreement that includes Cisco One, which is network, compute, and storage, as well as Cisco's security solutions, one umbrella agreement for all those different suites. The other key is for those of you that that are currently Cisco customers, or we even support some key competitors. If you have investments today, existing solutions, this is something where we have existing customer credits to get you from where you are today to Cisco Spark Flex Plan. Obviously, talk to Logicalis about that, and they'll provide you details on how to move from the one to the other, but everyone is included. Now, one thing I wanted to call out around the technology before I get into hybrid that makes this possible is we've heard loud and clear from our customers that they want a single unified client experience. And the reality is to make that
possible. On the back end, we had to create a single cloud architecture that brought together the worlds of WebEx and Spark into one cloud architecture, and that would allow us to unify the client experience for those people that want to do that, whether that was through the physical endpoints, the software, again, on your desktop, mobile, or browser. And so one of the things we heard loud and clear from our customers, and trust us, we've tried over the years to do hybrid so many different ways. So whether if you've been with us on this journey through things like Meeting Place, WebEx Nodes, WebEx OneTouch, CMR hybrid, all these different ways of trying to define hybrid, the ultimate problem was always it was two meetings in two places that were cascaded together. Well, with this launch, we have redefined hybrid. No longer is it a decision of cloud or premise. It's actually in the same meeting, potentially for the same user, is literally both. We'll get all of the benefits of cloud with all of the quality, security, and privacy of premise, if that's what I decide. Again, no more ors. And so how we're doing that, it's typical architecture for everybody's meeting solutions that are out there, including Cisco's prior to this. The idea that whoever was hosting the meeting, it was their bridge that was getting used. And every user that was participating in that meeting, no matter where you were from, using that person's bridge, potentially across the globe. And that created certain challenges around increased latency, potentially delayed voice video, some lip sync or screen sharing issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so what we did is we took technology that we've had in WebEx for years and now built that as part of this experience, which is centered around the idea of a globally distributed meeting. The idea is that you get to join from wherever you are, and are a whole series of global nodes spread across tons of data centers across the globe. You will join your meeting to the closest data center and join that meeting to the closest media engine, and then your meeting will automatically be cascaded as a single meeting across the entire cloud. We first in the Cisco cloud. One of the things I'd like to introduce to you today is the ability that we now are allowing you to distribute that capability into your cloud. So the ability to actually take the common media engine, that part of the Cisco Cloud Collaboration or Meetings platform, and able to distribute it right to your clouds, at the edge, so that you can do local mixing, local bridging of meeting experience, so that you can get the quality, the privacy, the security, and in reality also some really powerful overflow capabilities, where if your meeting servers, your meeting nodes that are part of your private cloud are either full or unavailable for any other reason, automatic bursting to the cloud is included. There for a second, any questions or anything, Corey, that we're seeing in the queue that we should take a moment and answer?
Anything that's more of a general question. It's some as we have Logicalis folks and customers on this call. Some of this is not rolled out to Logicalis yet either, because it's not available to Logicalis yet. So some of our team are also excited to get their hands on a newer technology, and we're wondering about new features and functionality, which we've answered more on a private basis. So nothing there that needs to be addressed at this time.
All right, perfect. All right. The other thing I wanted to call out is, if you think about what we're talking about here, first, centered around this idea of the consolidation of the meeting experience. What users really want to do is just get work done. And more of that work has become so collaborative, whether you're centering around this idea that I'm innovating a new solution, I'm escalating around a problem. The reality is I need to get that work done in a meeting. And I want to have to think about the separate technologies of audio or video or web in meeting rooms. I want to eliminate all the ors across that decision tree, get an and. It should be just a meeting. I just want to have a meeting, right? And the idea should be, when you think about that meeting, I'm able to have the best experience based on the best device that I have access to at that moment. That meeting experience should be experienced across any device, anytime, no matter where you are, whether everybody is all together or whether everybody is apart. And one of the key reasons that we refreshed the endpoint portfolio, that we get cloud connected, that literally built it into the meeting experience, and that we've taken that meeting experience and spread it across everything from software on your personal device, to a browser, to your laptop, to your desktop, to all of the room-based devices, again, whether they're on a desktop, a huddle room, multi-purpose room, or even an immersive room. We recognize there's this strong need that, as successful as we have been, 95% of meeting rooms out there do not have the technology in them that they need to conduct effective meetings. That's why we introduced Spark Board. And Spark Board really is all about the idea first of extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary single device for all your meeting needs in a room. Wireless presentation sharing. Second, best-in-class whiteboarding solution that's out there that is both physical and virtual, right? Of course, it's also an extraordinary video conferencing endpoint that either be utilized all by itself or with another Cisco video endpoint in companion mode, so that you can have the Spark board on one end of the room and video endpoint on the other and have them all working together. That capability, those capabilities that I just mentioned, create that amazing, extraordinary end user experience from wherever you are. Giving everyone a personal room to host their meeting, always on, always available, and theirs. The idea that all they have to do is give that out to whoever they want to meet with, and there's a big green button for those users to join from wherever they are. They'll automatically call them back on the device that they want, including a video device. In controls for those people that are in a room, wireless presentation sharing and consumption, and then the key other part of the Spark 2.0 Spark Board launch that we just talked about, the idea that I now have that Spark client where WebEx Meeting is embedded in. So I have the ability to do all the great messaging, content sharing, caring, annotating, whiteboarding type capabilities all through that unified client. Last thing we touched on is for those of you that are more IT focused, right, or procurement focused, what's the way to consume this technology and deploy this technology? All the things that we have to date, whether it's premise-based licenses or cloud licenses, or I want to deploy in the prem or in the cloud, none of those things are going away. But we've augmented both of them with some key capabilities. First, Spark Flex Plan, with subscription-based offer that includes the ability for you to deploy with a single entitlement, however you want, for whoever you want, and be able to switch it in any time. Second thing that I finished up on was around deployment. You separate your buying decision from your deployment decision. And with the deployment now, with the hybrid capabilities, you no longer need to think about, do I want a meeting on-prem or a meeting in the cloud? You can have it all in the same meeting for all of your users. So the key things that I wanted to cover today, and I really appreciate the time and opportunity, and I wanted to make sure I opened it up for any additional questions, as well as Corey to give you the time you needed to make sure that you could continue the dialogue you wanted to.
Wonderful. Thank you. Very comprehensive. Just as good the second time as it was the first time, Mark. I appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. I don't see anything more in the chat or the Q&A. Ann, do you have anything in there that maybe we've overlooked?
No. I think we're good.
No.
Wait, I did something just came through and a question. Integration with Skype. How is this integrated?
Yes. So we've had Skype or its pre-flavor link integration for a number of years, and we've since enhanced it. Literally, when we talk about the experience of I give out a single address and there's a green button to join, that includes joining from a Spark, from a Site for Business or a link client. So literally you join the meeting and it says, where do you want me to call you back? All you have to do is type in your link address and it'll automatically call you back on your link client, and they're a full participant. And one of the things that we differentiate from some of our competitors with Link is even from that link client, if you want to inject content into the meeting, you can. And when I say everybody's invited, I really mean it. Okay?
Does it require ACANO, A-C-A-N-O?
No. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know what that is, we acquired a company not too long ago that's called Acano. And Acano, one of Acano's claims to fame was, of course, the capability that they have for Link and Skype interoperability. And they did it in an extraordinary way. And we absolutely bought that intellectual property and have incorporated that across all of our solutions. The Acano solution became Cisco Meeting Server, which is absolutely available, and the way in which you want to deploy a premise-based solution. But that same capability has been extended to WebEx and Spark so that you can do it in a cloud or hybrid fashion as well. Same capabilities, same interface, same experience.
Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
Anybody else out there in webinar land?
I'm seeing a chat come through. Second, does the board have an HDMI output when in a larger room, the annotation, etc., could also be shown on a large display or projector?
Yes. Yeah. So it has both an HDMI in and an HDMI out. Those capabilities are constantly being tuned and enhanced. But the answer is yes, of course.
Anything else come up? Give a minute to finish typing. I don't see anything new.
Anybody that does think of a question that they would like to have addressed, feel free to email it to myself. And if the answer can't make up the answer, we'll find some smart people at Cisco in order to help us with that. But just kind of a Logicalis close on this. We've been working really hard at Logicalis as well. We're not in the manufacturing environment, but certainly a solution development environment and bringing these types of custom solutions to customer base. We've been working really hard over the course of the last couple of years with a focus on making sure our Cisco's UC platforms, their core applications, are up to a level, upgraded to the point where they can take advantage of a lot of these advanced features that are coming out and will be coming out. Some flexible deployment models built, right? Spark brings a whole new level of flexibility to deployment, but even from UC infrastructure standpoint, we can do hosted, we can do managed, we can do on-prem, we can do hybrid. Lots of different options for our customers to consume in maybe baby steps versus taking one big leap of faith towards an advanced or more advanced UC platform and getting out from underneath the management of that. The other thing we've been working really hard at is creating some custom assessment and adoption offerings. So we can, you've heard me talk about assessment-led model before, where for our customers, we can get inside the lines of business and really understand the use cases about how they're collaborating today, and then make recommendations on what platforms and what solutions and what products to leverage moving forward. Anybody that tells our customers or tells you how you can better, leverage and use these technologies without really understanding what you're doing today, they're not going to come up with a very good solution. So, and then outside the back end of that, have custom option and training options for your end users to be able to make sure that you're using the technology and they're trained up and using it and meeting the business needs that we uncovered during the assessment process. So webinar is going to be in the April timeframe, mid to late April. It is going to be around the Cisco Apple partnership, some flavor of that. So Mark mentioned that during his call today. I think that all ties together nicely with the evolution of collaboration. I guess my last call to action thing would be for our customers on the line or prospects, please contact your local Logicalis sales team to help determine maybe which next step is right for your organization, whether it's to assess your technical environment or assess your business environment, or to understand how these products can work in an existing environment. All of those options are on the table. So any other Q&A coming while I was closing there?
No, I think we're good.
That, Mark, again, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. To all the Logicalians out there, thank you for taking the time as well. And our customers, we wouldn't be doing this without you. So thank you very much for your time as well. Have a good afternoon, folks.
You too, Ann. Thank you, Corey. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.